about to start off the second video in our Grand Wagoneer series. Things that have happened since the last video. The Jeep wasn't starting on its own because the alternator wasn't wired in properly, so the alternator wasn't charging the battery. The wiring in this Jeep is such a mess, so we're gonna have a fun time trying to figure this out.
I know this wire doesn't have continuity on it, and I know it should, and then looking at it a little bit harder, well, you have to connect the metal to the copper. Okay, it should be good. Wagoneer's in the barn, and I don't have super high expectations for anything right now. I just want to get it so I can get it around the yard without a tow strap, since we got it running the other day. So I had a brake caliper that was totally hung up on this passenger side, so ripped that out real quick thinking, oh, you know, I'm just gonna throw a brake caliper at it. Well, I mean, it kind of spiraled a little, just a little, and you know, now it's all taken apart. It needs a U-joint in there, and the wheel bearings are like older than me, and couple things. But so I'm like, you know what? Let me get the other side off. Take a look at that. You know, well, look what I get myself into. That's no good. Yeah. Spins straight, really nice. These are the U-joints that I run. No grease fittings. I've had the best luck with these. They're just a nice heavy duty U-joint. I hate having to refill this grease gun, it sucks. We clean these up. They're pretty good shape. Originally, I was thinking I was going to end up replacing all these bearings, but we may be swapping the axles out of this thing. And I hate to spend an extra couple bucks on some bearings. I already kind of scrapped out the old seals, so we'll put some new ones in. I'm just going to kind of start working this seal in. Who knows how long this has been sitting, but I always end up just taking a shot back, running it into the axle tube, trying to get some of that dirt and grime, because you don't want to push it all back in there. Now that I got the U-joints all done, I'm going to put this back together. Short side's always a little bit easier. Might as well put this cap back on. Time for the other side. Same thing. Hit that with the shop vac. So this is that new caliper that we got. The outsides are super easy. The pads index right into the actual caliper. The inners are a little bit trickier. Spring clip goes like this. You just kind of install it downwards towards the bottom. Your slide pins just get kind of a press fit into this, and then they actually thread into the bracket on the axle side. I'm underneath the Jeep now, and this is my brake line that I got to deal with. Surprisingly, these were easy brake lines to get. It kind of just all slips together.
Brakes are bled. We just got the Jeep running to confirm that 4-wheel drive is working. So that's good. Yeah. Also, thank you to our friend Ryan for giving us these old wheels off his Colorado.
Ryan coming in clutch, man. You're the man. He even had wheel spacers to make them fit. Oh, it's great.
So that solved our issue with the original wheels not going back on because the lug nuts racked it, but a nightmare. So anyways, we're back in business. Let's go take it for a rip around the yard, make sure the brakes work. All right, let's see if it starts up on its own now. Now that it's back in the barn, it's time to rip the interior out. But before doing that, just wanted to give you a quick before shot. This is currently what it looks like. The seats are all completely ripped up. The carpet is a mess. And here is the back seat. I have a feeling we're gonna find a whole bunch of interesting goodies in the carpet of this because there's a lot of junk in here. And then of course is the trunk area, which we cannot get to through the back because maybe this is a design flaw on these Jeeps, but you cannot open the rear tailgate unless the power rear window is rolled all the way down, and our power rear window doesn't work. So we're gonna have to do it manually because we want to get this open today so we can get all the junk out. And then from this side, you know, here's another view of all the junk that's in here. Just the seats are not in the greatest shape. Even the dash is not in that great of shape. It's all pretty cracked up. Yes, we got a lot of stuff to clean up and vacuum out. Of course, we're gonna take all this carpet out though, because like, look at this thick shag carpeting. It's pretty gross. I'm sure that's holding many years of gross stuff in it, and we have dogs, so carpet doesn't work with us anyways. So yeah, let's work on getting that trunk open. Another interesting feature of this Jeep is a tilt column that tilts, you know, in ways that it shouldn't. Really loose column, so we're gonna have to address that. Look, I got some camera lighting for Christmas because, you know, barn lighting isn't always the best, but it also works for shop lighting to see what you're doing too. So win-win. Except for when I put my camera against the lighting, I guess that's not a win, but he's gonna try and power that window down, and I'll put the gloves on and gonna clean up the front. Nice. Anyways, while he's trying to solve that, I am gonna go clean up the front. Garbage? Not garbage. That's ours. Two Haynes repair manuals. Alright, and then we got a random assortment of tools, and I don't really think any of these are ours, so it came with the Jeep. This thick shag carpet is super nasty.
Look, we gotta have it's like $20 worth of tools in here.
Yeah, this is not ours. This, well, we're missing a few of the sockets here, but
Oh, and there was a snap-on extension. I took that out already. I've already been using that.
nice.
Oh, it's like a high lift jack. Oh, you know what? I bet this was like a factory high lift jack almost.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And again, this is the handle. And this is the bag it was in, so let's throw out the bag. 'Cause
Yeah, I think
is
the bag is
nasty.
Is there any other like metal bits in there? It was so much different back then. I mean, this is literal like, you know, like cardboard. It's crazy.
My way? Mechanical pencil? Anyone? Is this box cutter yours?
I mean, it is now.
Yeah, well, okay. So it was part of the Jeep.
Trying to keep getting any of these screws out.
The shifters, you're gonna have to cut the carpet over here. Free tools coming in handy already. Well, I guess not free, I did pay for them. Paid for the Jeep. Okay, the big reveal. We knew this already, but we obviously need to do a floor pan.
A little bit of a floor pan at least.
Yeah, a lot of the outside is visible there. The passenger side is actually pretty good.
Yeah, not bad, eh?
There's no holes over here. There's a tiny little hole up there. That's it. It's pretty good. I'm worried that that's straight up glued.
That's no good. No good. We fix.
We fix. Goodbye carpet. Well, majority of it. The wheel wells are still carpeted, and then this little strip here. And the floor over there too. A bigger one.
Not too bad, actually. That I would hold on to, if anything.
Oh, thanks. All right, all the carpet is out of the Jeep. I think that was it for today's tasks. I think the next thing that needs to be worked on is fixing the floor pans. But yeah, that's where we'll leave off from here. Also, goodbye to the turtles. I think I want to put Iller Life decals right here that match my JKU. I don't know, we'll see. And this is the snap-on extension that was in this Jeep when we got it. Pretty nice, good find. Since we ripped the interior out, this is what I get to sit on. That's real nice. Thank you for watching. Obviously, our next steps are floor pans, but we also want to do window seals and try and get the power windows working too, or make them manual crank. So any tips on that are appreciated, and stay tuned for the next one.